Garou versus Suiryu, the Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist versus the Void Fist. This is definitely one of the more popular hypothetical matchups in the community, and it completely makes sense why that is. I mean, they are both young bad boy martial arts masters, and they have both won the Super Fight tournament, and also are very prominent around the same time in the series. And let me just establish that the Garou I'm going to be using in this video is Hero Hunter Garou. So that means the Garou from chapters 40 to 84. I think pre-Will Garou would be too much for Suiryu, honestly, and pretty much anyone else who isn't definitively on the dragon level. And also, if they were to even fight in the first place, it would probably happen around chapter 70, meaning that it would be Hero Hunter Garou anyway, so I think it's fair. So both of these guys are clearly S-class level, which strengthens the competitiveness of this fight. They have both proven that they can one-shot A-class heroes. As we saw, Suiryu took down Lightning Max and Sneck, and Garou just has a laundry list of A-class heroes he has one-shotted. Garou has also taken down 2 S-class heroes at this point in the story, and we see that Suiryu is able to take down Chose, who we can assume is a demon. I mean, I don't think he's a dragon, or else Goketsu would have made note of it. So those are similar feats in itself, because we know that one demon is equatable to one S-class hero. So now let's get into their speed. So Suiryu is, you guessed it, extremely fast. He's definitely faster than Lightning Max, who is implied to be one of the faster A-class heroes. But he's also so fast that he appears to be faster than what the human eye can perceive, as this is noted by the announcer at the Super Fight tournament, when they have to literally slow-mo the footage in order to see him striking Saitama in the first place. And also, speaking of Saitama, he launches Saitama in the air and immediately is able to meet him up there. This is like incredibly fast. But we really see how fast he is when he is darting around the ring rather quickly in his fight against Chose, and we can assume he's definitely trying here, because it's depicted as being DBZ-esque in their speed, honestly. So, definitely one of the faster characters overall, but is he faster than Garou? Well, I don't necessarily think that is true, because Garou also has similar speed feats against A-class heroes. I mean, they are A-class, and we're comparing them to S-class level guys after all, but the speed feat that I just mentioned with Suiryu versus Chose, we see something kind of depicted similar to that when we see Garou going against Golden Ball. So we can assume that Golden Ball is shooting his balls super fast. I mean, probably just as fast as bullets. And like I said, this is depicted to be a similar speed that we see Suiryu and Chose moving. Now, of course, it could be debated or argued that one is faster than the other, but I'm just going based off of the context here because they do look extremely similar, and Garou is just easily dipping and dodging this. So just based off of this one sequence alone, I'm assuming that Garou is definitely able to keep up with Suiryu. But also, let us not forget that Garou was able to keep up with and avoid serious strikes from Elder Centipede Genos, who is faster than G4 Genos, who was nearly as fast as Sonic. So we also see another similarly depicted feat in both Garou and Suiryu's respective fights, which I think can help us further gauge what would happen between these two guys. So when Suiryu is going against Saitama, he uses his Void Sky Dragon Fist, and this depicts Suiryu as being pretty much a tornado of just technique and power. And we also see this when Metal Bat uses his Savage Tornado against Garou. So yeah, it can be debated that Suiryu is faster than Metal Bat, but we also have to remember that Metal Bat is pumped up at this point, probably a couple pumps into his pump-uppedness. So he's definitely pretty damn fast at this point. I mean, he is depicted as being a tornado after all. And Garou, like, low to mid diffs this. I mean, he's not really worried by it. So we can assume that even if Suiryu's tornado is faster, it's likely Garou trying hard could definitely overcome this. So now let's go into their strength, because we all know Suiryu is like freakishly strong. I would go as far as saying maybe he is physically stronger than Garou, but it's really hard to tell because Garou doesn't really get a lot of time to shine his physical strength feats the way that Suiryu does. So Of course, Suiryu's famous strength feat is when he straight up splits the ring and kicks it up and just manipulates it no problem. And this appears to be somewhat similar to the strength level of Tank Top Master, as we see that he can easily break the ground with a single punch, similar to how Suiryu did to the ring. And also, Tank Top Master's whole thing is strength. He also one-hands that gigantic piece of boulder in the Boros invasion. So based off of this, I guess they're similar in strength, although, you know, maybe Tank Top Master is stronger since that's like his thing, but, you know, it's debatable in the end. So it begs the question, can Garou take strikes from Suiryu? And the answer is definitely. I mean, we see him eat a whole bunch of strikes from Tank Top Master himself. He also likens the power of Genos to Tank Top Master, and he takes those no problem too. He also gets Tank Top tackled, and he comes back from this really no problem. I mean, yeah, he is messed up, but he really revels in the pain and damage that he is taking. And this is also something that Suiryu doesn't necessarily enjoy himself. I mean, yeah, he can take a beating that we'll get into later, but Garou seems to legitimately enjoy taking damage and giving it back, as Suiryu is more of like a casual type of fighter. We see that he's more of like the ladies' man, and then he just fights for the thrill, as where Garou is like psychotic and he fights because it's like his lifestyle. So now let's get into Garou's physical strength. And like I said before, he doesn't really get a lot of time to show how physically powerful he is the way that Suiryu does, but it is implied that he is extremely powerful based off of the beatings that he gave to the S-Class heroes. So we saw that he wrecked Tank Top Master pretty bad. He also wrecked Metal Bat just as bad as well. We know that Metal Bat is notorious for being a tank, and he pushes Metal Bat as far as we have seen so far. You know, this is the same Metal Bat who was taking blows from Elder Centipede as well as 2 demons before that. And I guess Garou is like pushing him to the brink of death here, just simply from the beating he's giving him. And so you need to be extremely powerful in order to do this to Metal Bat. And this also begs the question, can Suiryu take strikes from Garou? And I think he can, definitely. I mean, we see that Suiryu can take strikes from the Demon Chos, and these kind of bother him, but not so much. Also, he is very durable as well. I mean, not even Chos' spikes can pierce his skin, specifically his pec muscles. But he's also able to take that casual strike from Koketsu and come back from it immediately, which is pretty damn impressive. So just based off of these 2 feats, I'm definitely assuming that he could take a bunch of strikes from Garou. So I guess they're very similar in the power output and damage receiving department. But let's go more into the damage receiving department. So both of these guys take massive beatings. I mean, just savage beatings, and they keep coming back from them, which is extremely impressive in itself. So we see that Suiryu goes on to take somewhat of a mild thrashing from Chos, but he really doesn't take the full beatdown until it's Koketsu who wrecks him, like with that casual punch I talked about. He also like stomps on him and flicks him with his finger, but then he just gets destroyed by Bakuzan, like just straight up merciless beatdown. And this is pretty much the end for Suiryu. I mean, after the said beatdown, he has like enough strength left to break his toe, but other than that, that's pretty much as far as we could see Suiryu go. However, Garou gets beat down just throughout the series pretty much. I mean, it's just a non-stop beating, one after the other, but we really see how far Garou can go when he is destroyed by both Bang and Bomb, who, in my opinion, have more of a damage output than definitely Bakuzan, and probably definitely more than a casual Goketsu strike. And Garou never really goes down for the count the way that Suiryu did. He just keeps coming back, even when Bang and Bomb are literally trying to kill him, and they never really give him a break the way that Goketsu and Bakuzan gave to Suiryu. It's just showing you that Garou has like an insane level of endurance, not just durability. And based off of comparing these 2 feats, I'm gonna say that Garou likely has more endurance than Suiryu, as well as probably more willpower. Like, Suiryu starts crying and begging for his life and whatnot, but Garou doesn't do this. I mean, he kind of considers to try to convince Bang to not kill him, but he just says screw that, and he digs deeper and he keeps finding a way to go further. He never gives up, so I think this solidifies that as well. So with all of that stuff being said, I'm thinking Garou takes this one. I mean, he just appears to be overall better than Suiryu, but don't get me wrong, this would be an extremely competitive fight, and I would love to see it. But there's also some other variables that I think that go into Garou winning here. So Garou is also said to be a genius, like a genius that can learn mid-fight and copy his opponent's techniques, as well as just having a better understanding of them within like seconds. And Suiryu is never implied nor stated to have any kind of ability like this. Yes, Suiryu is very talented, that goes without saying, but he's just definitely not on the level of martial arts genius that Garou is. And I'm just going to assume that the Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist is an overall superior technique to the Void Fist. And I'm just guessing based off of it being created by Bang, who is essentially the Michael Jordan of martial artists in that world. So that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Like I said, very competitive. And I'm sure the argument could be made for Suiryu winning this, but, you know, in the end, it's really up for you to decide. This is just my opinion, of course, based off of how I see it. But, you know, if you liked the video, please give it a like and let me know what you think in the comments about this. Who do you think would win? I also have a Patreon. It starts at $2 and it gives you access to a Q&A. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.